Well, I'm back here on the windshield. I got that top part pretty much done. This bottom part's mostly welded up. So what I'm going to do is just take my flapper wheel and clean this up all the way around, and then I'm going to try to weld up any pinholes I got in it, and get this front part looking good, and then I'll flip it over and work on the back. We'll bring you back when I got this ground down a little. Well, here's this corner patched. It's going real slow. It's almost like filling with an arc welder and bondo. I'm going to fill this area right in here some more. This is pretty good. Got a couple places right here. It's kind of high. Got to grind that off. And I'm down into this area pretty decent. Still pretty rough. So I've got it ground down roughly where it goes. And then I just take my arc welder and, you know, kind of make me a side to side pass in here real slow. Fill this up. I'm not trying to get it perfect, but I am trying to get it smooth. And it's just a slow, painstaking process. I'll try to get you a little more video. I'll try to do this area right here. I'll just weld that up right now and give you a look at that. So I just put a little weld right in that area, and then I'll grind it off, and then I ground it off mostly. It's looks a little better. Got too much on there, but pretty flat. I have to do the same right in this area, and just clean this whole area up. I'll probably put another little bead right in here. It's still kind of hot, but it's just very painstakingly slow. I'm using flux core rod, so that's kind of making a mess, splattering and stuff, but at the end you'll get a pretty decent place. This one here looks bad, but it's pretty smooth. Right in here it's kind of rough still. Splatter again. This one's still got to go down quite a bit, but what I'm doing is using a little more voltage than normal, so it's kind of melting down in there flat as I can get it. But that's all I'm doing is welding it up and grinding it down. Arc welding bondo. And I'm trying to keep the whole thing from getting very hot, so I gotta go real slow. Well, here's kind of a done deal. I've got a little low right here. I'm not really going to try to weld that. This is all pretty good right in here. It's all smooth. Looks pretty good all the way around. I got this side real nice. I've got a little bit of, you see the black up in here. I didn't really grind the paint off. I do have a low spot right here, but that's a lot of welding to get that up here. And I think I'd be just as well off to bondo it. The bottom one turned out good. I got the same kind of deal here as a hole. But anyway, windshield's pretty much done. And I started welding up my places I burnt holes, but it looks like this thing was leaded. And here I'm having a hell of a time. You can see for sure this one's lead. Hell of a time trying to weld them back. It's just clumping and running and dripping and making a mess. So I'm just going to grind that down best I can, leave it alone. The other side I only got a couple little holes, but I can work on that a little. And I'm just looking at some of this worse stuff on here. This door, you can see I got it up pretty good in here, but it's coming out like 3/8 of an inch. And down here, well, from right here it's pretty even, and this is probably at least 3/8 of an inch. And it's got a piece of metal back behind here where I really can't. What I wanted to do was clamp a big piece of steel in there. I can't really do it. And then pound this in. I did pound on this a little with a hammer right here on the corner. I'm starting to bring the corner in, but it's not moving very much or very fast. And I think I'm just going to wind up bending this in. It's had some bondo on it before. I kind of cleaned it off. So I'm just kind of trying to do something here. Look like the whole door is tweaked a little. I played with these hinges quite a bit when I first put it together. They're pretty good. I actually welded the hinges into the door, but I need to bend this whole bottom in. Try to get this as straight as I can. The door's fitting good at the top. It's just out here at the bottom. So I wasn't really going to do any body work on it, but now that I'm in it, I might as well. I need to make me a cab corner here. This is really, you know, it's rusted out, but even the rust is really thick. I can barely bend a piece with my finger, and it's already gone, you know. So this was real heavy. So I think I'll be able to just wish I had a bead roller or something. I could make a patch. I don't. But anyway, first thing is get this door where it's closing pretty straight. It wouldn't do me much good to cut it. Yeah, lost my door handle. To cut that there, because the bottom of the door is solid and I have to bend that whole thing. So I'll just see what I can do with braces and pounding on it. I should be able to get it pretty straight. Well, somehow the whole bottom of this door got crushed. Just got the bottom straightened out a little bit, and I've got a big heavy jack stand in here, and I've got it clamped up here in front, and you can see down in here, you know, I've got like 3/8 of an inch, and I've got this part straight, but it needs to be curved. So what I'm hoping I can do is clamp on the bottom of this on the outside, and the block of wood or something along this bottom edge here, so I can kind of distribute that force, and hopefully, well, this is not very strong, you know. Hopefully I can bend that whole piece back in at least straight with this, because the front of it up here is pretty straight, and then right in this area it bent out. I think they probably backed up with the door into something. Anyway, I'm going to try to clamp it and get some pressure on it and give it some banging and see what happens. Well, you can kind of see what the problem is there now. I got a good solid 2x4 in there. I've got it against this 1-inch piece of steel for the jack stand, and so this is this big old clamp here is tighten that up. I think I ought to try to knock this out from this side. I can't get anything in there to hit it, but I can use a piece of wood or something and try to at least get that dent out of it, and that'll give me a little more, probably when that was knocked in, it shrunk the distance there and warped it. So hopefully knocking that back out will kind of unwarp it. I have to find me something to reach in there and pound that out. Well, that's a little better, but what's happening is I broke the bondo off because the metal's coming out, but the bondo's actually going to stop it, so I need to grind all that bondo off of there and try it again. I'll just take it with heat and a scraper. I should get it off pretty easy. Well, that's quite a bit better. It's lined up pretty decently here along the bottom. I was able to, when I heated it up, of course, made it easier to pound it out. I got a little bit of low spot right there. Of course, the whole thing's rusted out, but the edge is much closer. Well, I don't know by much, but I'm about looks like it's pretty good right there in the bottom. It's out maybe an 1/8 here. I think I can just take a board and a big hammer to this and just pound it in. It's a lot better than it was. main thing is that bottom. It was out a lot. It's pretty straight now. So I think I can, with a little pounding, I can probably sort that out pretty good. And then I can cut a piece out of there, out of the bottom. I don't know if I'd just try to weld it, patch them holes and grind it, or cut a piece. This is pretty thick stuff, even where it's rusted. I think I could probably get away with welding it straight, just weld the holes up. Because it will be a bit of a job to try to patch the whole bottom of that door. If I could weld it and get it good enough, I would call that good enough. Anyway, I'll try hitting a couple of them pinholes with a welder and see what happens. Well, that was a lot harder than I thought, but I cut a piece out and I put it in, ground it down. Tough to weld it. This stuff where it's rusted out, it just blew out real bad. I've still got a big hole there. This is actually up against the body, so I can't turn that in anymore. I can get in here and knock this out some more. I've got it welded up pretty good now. I think I'll just cut a big piece there and do this whole patch. Instead of trying to do it close to the hole, I'll take it up to where there's good metal up in here, and instead of trying to weld into this bad place. But I'll put another patch in there, and that should fix this up pretty good. But what I am going to have to do is, you really can't tell. Yeah, you can. See, this door's got to go up about 1/4 of an inch, and in order to get all this sorted out. But don't do me much good to try to make the round corner when it's hitting. But at least I got the hole patched, and I've got enough steel I picked up the other day to finish the rest of this. So kinda that's it for today. I never did get to finish up my window, but I'm kinda tired. Good enough for a day's work, and I got the majority of this door straight. You can see it matches real good up in here. I just have to raise it up. If I had a porta power, I'd jack that front hinge up. I'm not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll try to put a board and a jack under it, jack this whole door up. Kind of limited by the tools I have, but at least I've got this door looking real straight now. It's a lot better than it was. Just have to press on, slow but sure.